The City of Grand Junction would like to thank you for joining us for the Patterson Road Access Control Plan presentation. As technology advances, and during this time of social distancing, it is important to us to provide multiple ways for gathering public feedback on our projects. We hope this presentation not only provides you with important information about the project, but also the opportunity to share your feedback with us. During this presentation, we will cover information about the Patterson Road corridor, what access management is, how and why we should apply access management techniques to our busiest streets, and how this plan will be implemented. At the end, we will provide you with the necessary links for you to review the draft plan and give input or ask questions to the project team. This project is focused on developing an access control plan for approximately 7 miles of Patterson Road between I-70B on the west to Lodgepole Street on the east, just outside the city limits. Access points include everything from public road intersections to business entrances and residential driveways. An access control plan is a long-range plan that defines where access points will be located and what level of access will be allowed, meaning which turning movements will be allowed as traffic increases and conditions in the corridor change. Access management is the systematic control of the location, spacing, design, and operation of driveways, median openings, and street connection to a roadway. It is a tool that Grand Junction will use to manage the transportation and land use cycle shown on this slide. Access management can reduce the traffic conflicts that result from increased traffic volumes, which in turn reduces congestion and extends the life of the transportation system so that communities can slow down the cycle of expanding their arterial street systems, reducing physical impacts and tax dollars spent. Access management benefits our communities first and foremost by improving the safety along our arterial roads. As the graphic shows, the majority of crashes at access points occur due to left-turning vehicle movements. By consolidating and reducing the number of places where vehicles turn left or conflict with one another in general, we can reduce crashes. For example, if a raised median is added, safety is automatically improved by eliminating the left turn movements from the driveways in that stretch. In addition, we can also improve traffic flow by reducing the number of places where people are making decisions and slowing down to turn. If we maintain travel times along a corridor, we can also preserve the market area for our businesses. Studies have shown that as travel times increase along a corridor, a clear reduction in business market area is observed. This is because people naturally don't want to wait in traffic to complete their everyday business. If it begins to take too long to get to your favorite burger place, people start looking for that new favorite burger restaurant that doesn't take so long to get to. If we can maintain travel times, we can maximize business market area for our local businesses. In developing the access control plan for Patterson Road, we considered several principles of access management. Grand Junction is already applying these first couple principles with their functional roadway classification map in the Grand Valley Circulation Plan and signal spacing requirements defined in the Transportation Engineering Design Standards Manual. One of the key principles we considered in developing this access control plan on Patterson Road is the functional intersection area. This is an area where drivers make the most decisions on whether they should slow down, speed up, make turns, or stop as they are approaching or departing an intersection. At our major signalized intersections, we ideally want the functional intersection area to be clear of other access points to reduce the number of decisions drivers have to make. This isn't always possible based on property boundaries, but we strive to accomplish this wherever feasible. Another key access management principle considered is limiting the number of conflict points. Restricting left turn movements through the installation of raised medians or channelizing islands that only allow right turns in and right turns out are common techniques to reduce conflicts. Arterial roadways commonly include a median to provide safe and efficient travel for our busiest roads, and the city is planned for Patterson Road to be median divided in the future. Another technique shown here is what we call a three-quarter movement, where left turns into a driveway or intersecting street are provided from the main roadway, but the left turn onto the main street and through movement across the main street is prohibited. If you take a look at the graphics on this slide, you can see how the number of conflict points for a traditional four-legged intersection, seen on the left, can be reduced drastically by installing access management techniques like medians. For example, conflict points are reduced from 32 to 8 by installing median for a three-quarter movement. We can also reduce the number of conflict points by reducing the number of access points. Techniques used to do this include consolidating access points from multiple driveways to a property down to one access point per property. We can also look to share access points by connecting adjacent properties through access easements or agreements. Better defining driveways is another technique to clearly define where drivers should enter and exit and access, creating improved predictability for drivers. All of these techniques allow us to reduce the number of access points, which in turn reduces the number of conflict points. This next set of principles focuses on separating conflict areas at intersections. This includes providing turn lanes where warranted to provide a safe space for turning vehicles to wait before turning and to allow through vehicles to continue unimpeded. We also look to separate major intersections to avoid overlapping movements between intersections and to provide efficient signal progression so that you don't find yourself stopping at every signal. To support the city's street network and circulation system in Grand Junction, we specifically looked at locations where we can add connections that would benefit the city's functional classification plan. You may notice that these added roadways in the draft plan for Patterson Road as dashed colored lines. We also identified access points that we could relocate from Patterson Road to a lower classification roadway similar to the graphic shown here. At the onset of the Patterson Road project, the project team worked together to establish a set of goals for the plan. These goals focus on improving safety and operations on Patterson Road and for individual access points, as well as supporting the city's overall transportation plan, including circulation, modal choices, plan implementation, and compatibility with previous local planning efforts and ballot initiatives. The plan will be evaluated on a series of criteria to confirm that it meets these goals prior to adoption. The Access Control Plan is a long-range plan that is meant to be implemented over time as land use changes, traffic and safety needs arise, and as funding becomes available. It is not meant to be constructed immediately or all at once. In fact, if nothing changes, then nothing changes, and the plan does not need to be implemented. However, this plan provides the framework for the city to address change and growth within the corridor proactively. The plan is meant to be a living document and can be changed to better fit future conditions as necessary. There are three main triggers for implementation: the first being redevelopment by a private property owner, which is typically funded through private dollars. The next two triggers are typically funded with public dollars and include planned projects such as those approved with the recent passing of Ballot 2A, or projects identified to address specific safety or operational issues that can be mitigated by implementing access management techniques from the plan. So, what is driving the city to develop an access control plan on Patterson Road beyond the benefits we've already talked about? The reality is, an access control plan provides a corridor-wide view and ties transportation and land use together through the corridor. It gives a more holistic view of the corridor rather than a spot-by-spot or first-come, first-served basis, which can cause challenges in the future. An access control plan lets the city consider the corridor proactively rather than reactively and provides predictability for property owners, developers, and city staff so everyone knows what to expect. This slide shows an excerpt from the overall draft plan. You can access all the sheets for the full 7 miles at GJ Speaks to review the plan in more detail at the locations you're most interested in. The legend at the bottom tells you what type of access is proposed at each location. For example, here, 24 Road is identified as a full movement signalized intersection, just as it is today. The access points nearby, identified as stars, indicate a right in, right out, and the X's identify driveways that will eventually be closed. The triangle noted at access 2 indicates a 3/4 movement to provide left-in movement for the properties to the south. After starting this plan in January, we are currently entering the public input stage of the project. If you're interested, you can join us on October 1st at Faith Heights Church for our first open house from 4 to 7 p.m. No presentation, just come when it works with your schedule. We invite you to provide comments or questions with our SurveyMonkey comment form. If you'd like more information, let us know and provide contact information so our project representatives can contact you. Once we've compiled public feedback, we'll revise the plan as necessary and provide another opportunity to review the revised plan in January. We anticipate City Council adoption in April. Thank you for watching this presentation for the Patterson Road Access Control Plan. Please let us know your thoughts on the draft plan by using the links at GJ Speaks to review the boards and to get to the SurveyMonkey comment form. You can also contact the project representatives listed here to provide additional input or to ask questions about the project. Thank you.